Namaste everyone, welcome back to my channel Spirituality from Soul. In my today's video, I will talk about a young versus old soul. So I know this sounds crazy, like young versus old soul, but um, yeah, I'll go into the depth of this. I will go into the details of it, but obviously there's no way we can find out the age of the soul because no one knows how many birth that soul has taken in the past. We don't know how many if as the soul as like obviously the soul has to go through the human birth as well as other beings birth as well, like being an insect, being a insect or an animal, or other things as well. So there's no way anyone can find out the age of the soul, but if there's few scenarios where you can find out um, whether the soul is a like a young soul or an old soul. I'll give you an example. So please stay tuned. But yeah, even though I want to mention one more thing here, you can see your past life. You can go into your past lives, like different past lives, through past life regression. And because I've seen people like who have gone through past life regression, and they have seen their different births as well. Some people have seen their past life during meditation as well, so that is possible. Obviously you can see your past life, but again that doesn't give you the number of birth you have taken, that soul has taken, not you, the soul has taken. So obviously we won't be able to find out whether the how old is that soul. And and again, I want another thing I want to mention here is, no one, like, it's not like anyone can go for past life regression. uh, to to have a past life regression, there should be a purpose behind it. And like if that's like if someone is suffering from some sort of issues in their current life, and maybe like a relation, family relations, or like a person is scared of water, so they can't go into the water. And like they can't go for swimming and things like that. Even they can't even like struggle to take bath as well, or shower, things like that, because because they have a phobia from water and things like that. Or some people have a phobia of air flights as well, like they can't, or maybe heights and things like that. So if they go through that past life regression, um, they can find out the reason behind it. Say for an example here, someone has a phobia of like water or something, like they can't go into the swimming pool, or they struggle to get bath or shower, things like that. Then probably in the past life regression, I've seen that those people had a history with the water in their past life, where they were murdered, maybe in the swimming pool or something like that. So all that things always stayed in the, because body can forget. Obviously a body had no idea what happened in the past life, but the soul remembers everything. And soul had a journey, and that's why that phobia goes into the next life as well. And after that, after the past life regression, many people have recovered from this side of this kind of situations where they are struggling with some sort of phobia. So in those scenarios, past life regression really helps. And that's why or some sort of family relations where they are not doing well with other family members, so there may be a history behind it in the past life. So in those scenario, past life regression is highly recommendable, but not just like if, not in the scenarios where, okay, I want to know what I was in my past life, what I did in my past life, so I want to go and do PLR. So in those scenarios we shouldn't do it. So we should enjoy the current life rather than digging the holes in the past life. But anyway, that's not the topic here. So yeah, so what I meant by young versus old soul. So let me give you an example. You met someone. The person seems to be like a senior citizen kind of age, like an aged person, maybe in like early 70s or something. But after you had a conversation with that person, you realize that the person is very childish, and like after have a conversation with that person, you feel like this person is so immature. And obviously, like with the way that person talks, with the and the activities that person is doing, you realize that this person is not maybe he has grown by age, but he has not grown by the by brain or something, like, because that person is so immature. The way that person talks, the activities that person does is so immature and childish. So that's one scenario. In second scenario, say for example, you met someone. That person may be in his early 20s or something, but after you had a conversation that with that person, you realize that that person is such a matured person. And that person, like you must be wondering, like, how in such a young age that person then taught so many beautiful things, and in such a matured manner. Even some children we have seen, for example, like those children, even though they are really really young, they are like 9-10 years old, but they are so matured by their habits, and the way they taught, and the way they do things and stuff. So I'm sure all of you must have come across like these two scenarios, because I have come across many people like this. So they are so that's why um, there are things where, in the first scenario, maybe the soul of that person is really young, and because uh, as we have seen and realized that soul takes many birth to learn different kind of lessons. And uh, and uh, and um, so and so the soul, I'm not saying that's the first birth of that soul or anything like that. I'm definitely not saying that in the first scenario. But again, that soul is young because that soul hasn't learned many lessons yet. That soul has not taken many birth yet. Maybe that's only like the initial stages of that soul's journey. And that's why that person, even though that person has grown in the age as a body, I'm talking about, but by the attitude, by the nature, that person is still like a very immature person. Because your subconscious mind is where the which mainly like learn lesson from different birth lives and different past lives, that stays in the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is only keeps the memory of like what you did this morning or yesterday or day before, but your subconscious mind contains everything what you have done in your previous life, or many past lives. But obviously we can't, through meditation, that's why I said through meditation you can see your past lives, because meditation goes into the subconscious mind of your of your brain. And so yeah. But in on the other hand, if you're talking to a person who is, even though very young at the age, but that person seems like such a matured person. So that's when, because that soul must have taken many births in the past, and that soul has learned lot of lessons, because with every birth, soul has a purpose to achieve something in that birth. Maybe they just like they have different like soul come with different purpose, and this is what I want to learn in this life, this is what. And because that soul must have gone through so many lives in the past, and the soul has become a matured soul. And that's why, even though the body of that person is quite young, but the that body is still, the activities of that body, the way that body thoughts, and the conversation that body does is so matured. It's mainly because of the soul which is sitting behind it. So yeah, so I hope it made sense. And they also, if you have noticed, most of the time the second scenario which I spoke about, where the body is young but the soul is quite old, mainly those kind of scenarios you must have seen in the people who are more towards the spirituality or more spiritual inclined, because they have taken so many births, and and at some point they have started the journey of the spirituality, that most of the time in those scenarios they are more spiritually inclined, and they are on the maybe in the later stages of their spiritual journey, where most of the time where people are moving towards the liberation from the birth death cycle. So yeah, so I hope this concept made sense. And yeah, I just I've learned about it, but I've never really found a video which has ever discussed it. So I hope you find it useful and informative. Mm, in my next video, I will talk about how soul choose the next birth, because soul always get an option to whether what type of what type of their life or purpose they want to achieve in their next birth. So yeah, I will talk about it in more detail. I'll give you a few different scenarios. And but yeah, if you like this conversation and if you're enjoying it, please do subscribe to my channel. If you really want to make some comments or anything, please leave it in the comment box below. And yeah, I hope you find it useful. So thank you for listening, and please do subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you.